So I apologize if this video is not exactly the smoothest or most organized. I tried to write down my notes for it twice and it just ended up being really convoluted. So instead of using the whiteboard in an effort to teach people about Roy Moore, his life, and the battle of light versus dark, I decided just to turn this video into more of like a storytelling, conversational kind of thing. So I apologize if it ends up being disorganized and convoluted, but there's just so much back and forth between what the light is doing and the dark is doing that the storytelling thing seemed a little bit smarter to me. I want to start out by saying that one of the reasons why the other side is so obsessed with Bernie Sanders is because of his soul. It's not only his belief system and his political agenda and what he's trying to accomplish as a politician. It's about Bernie Sanders' soul. His soul. His soul is predestined. His head, his heart, his reasons for things, his decision-making process, how strong he fights for justice and fairness and the little guy. The divine trusts him, and he is divinely inspired. So that's why when I look at Bernie Sanders' soul combined with his political agenda, I'm like, okay, that guy is a magnet for good things because he's aligned with truth. Now, am I not happy about the law of attraction being turned up right now and the fact that Bernie Sanders is still associated with the Democratic Party? No, I'm not. We have free will. Free will has consequences, but whatever. We're not going to focus on that. Right now, I want to talk about Roy Moore. But when I compare Roy Moore to Bernie Sanders, I want you to look at the attention that Bernie Sanders garners and how he has become an extremely popular politician and how he has gained more of a following. And I want you to look at Roy Moore, his life, and see what has happened to him. What ended up happening to Roy Moore with losing the seat as a senator was not just his political agenda. Roy Moore is aligned with falsities. He's anti-gay marriage. He made some comment about how life was better when slavery existed. Racist, anti-Islam, sexist. I mean, he's been called all sorts of stuff. Obviously the accusations about sexually assaulting underage girls, that kind of thing. So his belief system is aligned with falsities in the dark. So Roy Moore is an energetic match for the dark. His belief system is. Obviously, if you're a Republican, you're an energetic match for the dark because you believe in every man for himself and more of a separatist society. The collective consciousness exists. That's the way the universe is set up. So Republicans are not in line with universal truth. So that's why they're matches for the dark. So as a Republican, he's already a match for the dark, let alone all of those other beliefs that he has. So that's his belief system. But Roy Moore as a soul, what is he attracting to himself as a soul? Well, let's look. Does Roy Moore have universal support in gaining power? No. He has absolutely none. The angelic realm gives him 10 thumbs down, not only for his belief system being aligned with falsities, but also his impure intentions in gaining more power. His intentions are impure. It's egoic. It's egoic. Now, he didn't concede. He lost the election and he didn't concede. What does that tell you? It's his ego. Pride, ego. I'm not conceding. That shows you his ego right there. But another part of it is that once Roy Moore was given power, he abused it. He abused it. So let's look at his life. Underage girls, young women. He abused his power over them. He becomes a Alabama Supreme Court justice. Ended up losing that position for misconduct. became a Supreme Court justice again, ended up losing that position for misconduct, going against a federal order that involved gay marriage. So he's aligned with falsities there and working for the dark. So the ironic part is the first time he was removed from his position as Alabama Supreme Court Justice was over a dispute of a statue of the Ten Commandments in a building lobby. So you would say, oh, he's fighting for Christianity. No, not really. The light still didn't want him to have any power. They didn't trust his decision-making process. He ain't Bernie Sanders. His soul isn't predestined for power like Bernie is. Nope. They don't trust his decision-making process. They don't trust his ego. They don't trust his intentions. They can see his soul. The angelic realm can see Roy Moore's soul. And they're like, thumbs down. Gets power, loses it. Gets power, loses it. Gets power, loses it. Are you guys watching this man's life? Are you taking out a magnifying glass and looking at Roy Moore's life? Go on Wikipedia. Go on Wikipedia, look up Roy Moore, and read his life. Power, lost it. Power, lost it. Power, lost it. Who's taking it away? The dark? Nope. The light is taking it away because he's not aligned with truth and he has impure intentions in gaining that power. You abuse your power, you lose your power. The light takes it away. How does the light take it away from you? They take that fire hose of truth and they blast it at your face. Is what happened to Roy Moore darkness to the rest of us? No, it's not darkness to me. These women are speaking their truth. That's not darkness to me. That's bravo. You go. You go. You speak your truth. You speak your truth. And then we have Roy Moore over here saying, you know, this is all political. I'm 10 points ahead. And then all of a sudden these women start, you know, screaming at me. I got news for you, dude. That's exactly how the light works. You know how many times I've seen them watch people like climb the ladder and then they say, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, truth. And then they fall. And then they fall because you were never supposed to have that power in the first place. So when this all started happening, when he was 10 points ahead, yep, I sat there and I'm like, yep. That was the light spraying truth at Roy Moore to prevent him from gaining more power because he doesn't deserve it. So that was the women coming forward, right? That's the women coming forward and pulling him down. Now, you have to remember, this is the battle of light versus dark. Dark's not just going to let that happen. Dark's going to fight back. So dark sees the light using these women, you know, for truth and justice after all these years. And the dark's like, oh, we got to do something. Now, who does the dark work through? The dark works through other individuals who are also aligned with the dark. So guess what happens after that? Donald Trump aligned with the dark. Bannon aligned with the dark. They come forward and they start supporting Roy Moore. Vote Roy Moore. Vote Roy Moore. This is the dark fighting back to try to garner more support for Roy. And in the meantime, Roy's ego is so big that he's not going to back down. He's like, I don't care what the women are saying. I'm just going to ignore all this. Who cares? I'm going to keep going because I still feel like I have a chance of winning because Alabama is a red state. So, Bannon, Trump, Roy Moore, just cheer, 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 right? So the light sees this. The light sees what Donald Trump and Steve Bannon are doing, and they're like, oh man, we got to fight back. And you know what? We're going to have to bring out a pretty big gun in order to fight back. Bam! Obama just showed up and endorses Doug Jones. My personal opinion, I know the vote was really close. My personal opinion, what I think Obama was the one that actually sealed the deal. I think Obama's endorsement of Doug Jones is what actually sealed the deal. It happened really close to the election, and he was speaking for the light, and that was the light coming back to try to prevent Roy Moore from getting power yet again, because he's not supposed to have power. So the light showed up, and he lost the election. Now, it was close, because I kept tuning into the other side, like, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen? They kept saying Alabama is a red state, we're trying. So it was touch and go there for a while. It really was. It was touch and go. But Roy Moore lost, and he wasn't really meant to have the power. He wasn't meant to have the power. Now, what would happen if Roy actually won the Senate election? Would the angelic realm just let that happen? Would they just let go of his ankle? Nope. They would come after him. And they would come after him with the ethics committee, people, in the Senate who didn't want him there, people who felt uncomfortable. They would have him removed some other way. So even if he won the election, they would find some other way to cause him to lose his power again. This is not the dark chasing after Roy Moore. This is the light chasing after Roy Moore. He loves throwing God's name around. I got news for you. It's in the wrong context. I'm sorry, but this is why there's a lot of people who have turned their back on religion. Because people like Roy Moore throwing God's name around and saying God this and God that, when it's the total opposite. If you're gay, I have news for you. Your truth came from him. Why? Because your truth sucks and it's hard to speak and people reject you. And what is your soul learning in the process? You are learning self-love because you are being challenged. Bam! You just gained the virtue of self-love, which strengthened your connection to the divine himself. You're considered a higher soul because your divine connection is closer. If you are gay, your truth came from the divine. It came from him. Speak your truth with pride because Roy Moore is wrong about you. He's wrong. It's black and white, no gray. There's no gray. The issue is either this or it's this. There's no in between. He's either right or he's wrong. And unfortunately, he's wrong. So if you're going to throw God's name around in association with falsities, you're an energetic match for the dark. So now, what did the Republicans do? The Republicans also didn't embrace their truth. They had a candidate who was too weak to go up against Doug Jones. Would you want a Republican candidate in an election who's being accused of all this crap? Hell no! You pull the dude and you replace him with somebody else. You replace him. They did not do that. So the Republicans aligned themselves with falsities and a weak candidate. So now they're to blame for not embracing their truth that their candidate was too weak. The Republicans lost in a red state. The light won. The light won. So, Roy Moore said after he lost the election that he's waiting to hear back from God what to do. Well, here's what you're supposed to do. Number one, you have a major issue going on because the divine can see your soul. And he knows your intentions are impure and they're ego-driven. So what are you going to do? Just automatically change your intention? I was just kidding. I really want more power because I want to spread love and do good in the world. You can't fool them. They can see your soul. So you're kind of in trouble there because that's like making a 180 that you really can't make right now because your intent is your intent. But my advice to you is set your ego aside. Start warming up to the idea of diversity and, different ethnicities, different religious beliefs, different sexual orientations. Start warming up to those ideas and start embracing people's differences because that'll align you closer with the angelic realm if you do that. And, focus on self-love, focus on a way you can help others, and focus on aligning yourself with truth so that you are an energetic match for good things, so that you are an energetic match for the light. Are you an energetic match for the light? No, that's why you lost. And this is not a quick fix. This is not something that you can just fix easily. But right now, you trying to obtain more power is a total waste of your time and money. Because even if you obtain more power, it's going to get knocked down again. You do not have the support of universal energies in having power. You don't. So, my advice is to concede to Doug Jones, accept this truth, set your ego aside, move on with your life, and take a break from trying to get power, because the light is just going to squirt you with more truth and take it away from you because you're not aligned with truth. So, you know, this is a true battle of light versus dark. I mean, watching this was one hell of a show for me because I got to watch dark coming forward, light coming forward. They are so smart and they are so strategic and they're constantly battling each other like Star Wars. And so that's why I thought it was important to make this video, pointing this out to people and shining a flashlight on what's really going on. What was that back and forth that you saw? It was light versus dark in everybody's face. It's not like it ever stops. It's not like it ever stops. So, you know, on a personal level, for me, you know, somebody who went to Catholic school for 16 years, you know, there were a few times where I was turned off by the, you know, fire and brimstone and the shame and the, you know, repent and, you know, oh, you're a sinner if you don't do this, you're a sinner if you don't do that. And that's not what the angelic realm is about. They're not about fire and brimstone. They're about aligning yourself with truth and love and the light and justice. And that's just not what Roy Moore is doing. You know, running around, you know, denying, you know, same-sex marriage to people. I got news for you. If you want to be married, you grab the hand of your romantic partner and you say, hey, God, can you do us a favor? Can you bless our relationship? And then he'll say, sure, no problem. Done, you're married. At least you're married spiritually. You don't need another person to bless your union. If you want to, that's fine. Find one of your mutual friends to do it. Hey, will you hold a celebration? You know, will you hold a ceremony marrying us? You don't need a priest for that. It's not like the priest has magical powers that you don't. Woo! Legally, people want to be married. I understand. Legally, you want to be married. But I'm just telling you, if people like Roy Moore are abusing you or making you feel ashamed of yourself or your union in any way, shape, or form, I just want you to know that you are joined in love in the eyes of God. And you are aligned with truth. And you are an energetic match for good things via the law of attraction. Because you spoke your truth. You spoke your truth. And please continue to do so. Because it's hard and it sucks. But you did it. You did it. You came out of that closet and you shined authentic light. And good for you. So don't let Roy Moore or anyone try to take the wind out of your sails. Because he's an energetic match for the dark, because he's aligned himself with falsities. He does not have the support of the angelic realm in gaining more power. Because when he was given power, he abused it. I hope you enjoyed this story. I tried to make it as clear as possible. Yeah, the universe is all about love and acceptance. So, Mr. Moore, I suggest you focus on that. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.